Patty, do you want to start? Give out your email address. No, I'm kidding. But
easy to find, foodandwaterwatch.org. So a couple of thoughts. Totally agree. So I'm coming at this from Food and Water Watch. We are not representing workers, but we're well aware of all of the ways that consumer issues, food safety, food labeling, all of that connects for a couple of reasons. We're in that coalition that Mia was talking about for that poultry inspection rule change. And she's absolutely right. There was a tremendous amount of work together to raise all of the reasons it was a terrible idea. And there's a long list of reasons this proposed rule change is a terrible idea. Worker safety was at the top of the list. We were glad to see them at least make some verbal commitment to changing that. We still hate the core issue of the rules that we're not going to have the same kind of inspection by government inspectors of this massive industry, so we're actually suing the government to try to stop that rule. But I agree, in the years of building up to that, making a ruckus about it, it did have an impact in the conversation and the process, so I think that's a good example of when we can identify the things we have in common. We often have a lot in common. The other thing I'll say that is important to us this year is that Saru said it really well this morning, right, that the lobbyists are writing the rules, these big industries are writing the rules, and one thing that we're quite worried about is not giving more opportunity for these big players to get even bigger. So we are in like the last year, and we think going into this year has been really a period of kind of like merger mania. We reached a point last year where we kept talking about merger Mondays because every Monday a new food industry merger would come out.
And what's wrong with big food?
So bigger market share for these companies means less choices for us. We're told as consumers we've never had it so good in terms of choice. But in fact, a lot of the stuff we're looking at the grocery store is made by a couple of companies just in different packages. So that's a consumer impact, but it also gives them more power. It gives them more power in the political arena. It gives them more power in marketplaces. They don't have to worry that, you know, we're going to vote with our dollars and buy something else if there's not as much else to buy. So as they get bigger, they control more of the decision making, whether it's labor standards, what people get paid, what farmers get paid, what the practices are. It gives them more power, not just economic power, but decision-making power. And then the final thing I say, but I'll say that as an opportunity I think everybody here is probably working on, is these trade agreements. We can all make a lot of progress on the rules of the United States or our local government or our state governments. And these trade agreements that we're talking about, one with the Pacific Rim countries and one with the European Union, both of those deals are not about importing and exporting and are there tariffs and are there regulations on how much steel goes there and how many tires we import. They are creating opportunities for corporations to attack U.S., local, and state government laws in a venue where I cannot vote for them as a U.S. citizen. They are not about tariffs and quotas and a flow of goods. They're about deregulation and attacking rules that we can write to protect workers or the environment or health. So that's one thing I think we are seeing labor, environmental groups, food safety groups. We're seeing a lot of groups come together to fight these trade deals because they're a terrible idea. Despite what we heard in the State of the Union the other night, we don't need these deals, and I think you're going to see a lot of working together in the next year to try to block them.